Boom, baby. We are live. Welcome to the Tokyo I Told You So show. We're back. Episode 99, baby. Bitcoin rebounds 38% in 1 week. What's next other than us being right? Once again, good morning, good evening, good night, as my co-host Charlie likes to say from cultivatecrypto.com. How's everybody doing out there? We're going to talk about this miraculous week we've had here in Bitcoin, and not so miraculous if you watch this guy over here and his channel, because he pretty much called this on the 60-day cycle. Charlie, once again, congratulations on winning and being a champion. Kobe.
I'll steal that one from you. Yeah, things are going pretty good. Yeah, we were looking at the 60-day cycle. We're like, the low should come in right about here, and then it did, and then it's been basically a straight week of green candles, in Bitcoin, which has been fantastic. And now people, continue to have more decisions to make, right? As if the price dips lower again, right? Do you buy more, or do you wait until the price gets to a certain height and then buy more, right? So it's, or do you just dollar cost average in and keep to your same strategy that we recommended through the course? To each his own, but people get their emotions involved. I've had some good consultations with people this week, and it's interesting to kind of see the psychology of each person kind of being slightly different. But I think people are being reasonably cautious, but also bullish. I think there was a tweet yesterday that I was talking about. It's like, if you're an uber bull or an uber bear, or like a perma bull or a perma bear, like which one wins out in the end when it comes to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, right? The people who are bullish like all the time, right? They tend to be buying more often, and as long as they're dollar cost averaging in and not spending everything at once, and then have a cash position and an income flow and everything that they can put into crypto, I mean, we keep going higher in crypto, right? And so that tends to work out better. If people are perma bears, right? They always basically saying, oh, it's going to crash. Oh, it's going to crash. All the Peter Schiffs of the world. They never get in. They miss the boat. And they still, they basically have the melting ice cube, which is the US dollar. And, all of their hard work and value that they work every single day, almost their entire lives, just basically disappears by the time they will be retirement age, and they'll be eating cat food the rest of their life. So, which one do you want to be? I'd rather be a perma bull.
What flavors does cat food come in?
Sorry?
What flavors does cat food come in?
Tuna.
Well, like I said, our confidence was never shook. And look, we're not out of the woods yet, man. We could crash right back down to 30K within a month or 2 months, but not saying that's the case. Charlie's actually going to go over his chart predictions here shortly. But what we are saying is that, again, fundamentally, you have to realize that the use case of Bitcoin is not going away. Even if Bitcoin were to go away, something would come to replace the vacuum that it left behind, because Bitcoin is around because there's a fundamental problem. And the fundamental problem is a corrupt, broken banking system, an obsolete monetary system, and an archaic way of doing things within both of those things, which is the banking system and the monetary system. So I think with this, phenomenon that is Bitcoin, like I said, you guys, if you're watching us, you have to realize, first of all, like, you're an extremely rare person watching us, because the average person does not understand the intricacies of cryptocurrency whatsoever. They don't even know what a peer-to-peer network is. They don't even know how to send Bitcoin, receive Bitcoin. They don't know any of those things. So
yeah, especially with Elizabeth Warren.
Right. And we're going to talk about Pocahontas tonight, or this morning for you guys watching us on the East Coast, Beast Coast. But yeah,
about state time here in Tokyo.
yeah. My green screen is different than your green screen.
Yeah, just a little.
But yeah, like I said, you guys, you just have to remember, like, some of you guys were panicking and freaking out when the market took a dive, right? Zuzu for life and Eri Jorgo. But we're back on track. Like I said, the faith that me and Charlie had was never shaken. And we're just, guys in Charlie and I's private communities, we're just busting their balls, because behind the scenes, the crypto mindset and my membership as well, like, you get privy to all this behind the scenes access that we because Charlie doesn't just turn off YouTube and stop talking about Bitcoin, and neither do I. Like, this is part of our life. Like, it is day in and day out. We are as cracked out as you guys are on charts and prices and everything. But definitely more, right? But the people who have access to us in our communities just have a quicker way to communicate with us, and so that's why we're busting the balls of those guys. Love both those guys. Love Zuzu. Love Ari. Great guys. But yeah, we're just here. Both of those guys have definitely put in a lot of work. Ari's very disciplined. Zuzu's very smart guy, and so we love those guys. We love the guys in our community, and another thing I want to say is this: I was watching an interview yesterday with the former UFC lightweight champion of the world, and in my opinion, the greatest lightweight champion that's ever been, Khabib Nurmagomedov. And he says when people get fame and fortune, everybody says you change when you get fame and fortune, right? But the truth is, you don't change. It just reveals who you are. And I'm not going to say that Charlie and I are rich and or famous, because we're definitely not. But that we have leveled up in life, as you can see, and you guys aren't stupid. You know what's going on with everything, and we just want to say, like, just look at us. We haven't changed. We've actually gotten better at delivering, and we've kind of we've become more helpful for the community. So let those receipts be something that brings peace to your mind when you're watching us. Like, we are here for you guys. We're not here to, like, we're not here chasing money. We're not here chasing clout. Like, we just really sincerely want to put out good information to help people out. And we realize when we help people it's inevitable. The good karma by helping all the people out in the world will eventually come back to us. And that's what we're going to keep doing. What do you say, Charlie?
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I mean, in a way it already is, there's sometimes, in crypto, just like we say, right? Your first cycle, you can make some money, get maybe a little rich. Your second cycle, you can, do really well. You can get rich, if not wealthy, depending on how much you focused. But definitely by the third cycle in crypto, you're going to get extremely wealthy. Just by inherently, holding Bitcoin, Ethereum at the majority of your portfolio. For in that case, maybe 10 to 12 years. But it's only been, we've been in crypto now since me personally since May of 2017. And sometimes I just pinch myself. I'm like, wow, like all this stuff is happening. Like, it was kind of interesting. Yesterday, I went to meet Eddie for lunch and just have a chat. I took a taxi on the way back, and the taxi driver was the first foreign taxi driver I've ever met in Japan. I've never had a foreign guy as a taxi driver. And he happened to be from Canada. And when I was speaking with him or whatever, I was like, oh, like, I've never seen a foreign taxi driver. Where are you from? And he said Vancouver. And then he started telling me a little bit about his story, typical story in Japan, start off as an English teacher and yada, yada, yada. But then he's like 50, 55, something like that. And just, taxi driving is, because basically when you get to that age, no matter how good you are, your whatever profession you have, whether you're Japanese or not, right, they tend to kick you out of the corporate world and you just get on contract work from there on out. But he'd started looking into Bitcoin earlier this year as well. And actually, when I was talking to him, like, he was like actually very, very fluent on crypto. I was kind of surprised by that. So it's starting to get kind of, seep into, sometimes people say, oh, this would be a signal for continued bear market because you have your shoe shiner or, basically that type of thing. I'm still talking about the market. But he wasn't talking about it. I just like brought up the subject because he had mentioned his life situation. But you start seeing a lot of people around the world starting to kind of light bulb goes off on their head, and they're like, oh, like everybody's getting pinched by the current financial system, the global financial system, the excess money printing, and all this stuff, that by the end of this decade, you're going to have everybody on the planet know something about digital currency, right? It's going to kind of like how, as much as we know about email today, right? Or as much as we know about how Venmo works when we pay it with Venmo or PayPal. And so some people will just be, yeah, I can use it. And other people will be like, oh yeah, I know the IP protocol behind this and blah, 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 blah. But, a lot of people still think, I'm too late and all this stuff. But like, in our daily lives, like it's hard for us to find people like that generally we can even have a conversation with about crypto. So,
Yeah.
you know, by being here on YouTube, being genuine, doing what we want to do, and helping everybody out, we're creating like a huge community, which is only, you know, continuing to grow, of people who are literate. And yeah, it's been amazing to me. I pitch myself every day to kind of be like, wow, we're really in this position. And then also, it's really awesome when we talk to people over consultations. I'm like, I used to have to say like, why is Bitcoin not a scam and why is it not going away? And now I can start at a conversation of like competency and be like, okay, you got the basics and let's go from there. And usually by the time that I have a second consultation with somebody, it's like night and day. It's like, you know, maybe I'll test this out a little bit too. I'm going to put my entire 401k in crypto, you know? So it's fun to watch, and yeah, it's a rewarding, you know, job that we have here. And it's awesome to see all the guys doing well and leveling up in life. You know, we've already minted a few millionaires. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And going back to what you were saying too, you know, like, and again, this is not a story for you guys to feel sorry for us, but Charlie and I were literally ridiculed by our entire corporation. Charlie's let go of that. I haven't. And so,
well, the reason why I let go of it because you made one of the guys buy Bitcoin at 16K right before it topped out at 20K.
Oh man!
Hopefully he's still holding it. You know,
he lost that shit. You know, he lost it. But that being said, you know, with the thing, like we were literally ridiculed, and but we knew, we had the foresight, and we stuck to our vision when we had that foresight. So, you know, for you guys at home, you know, I don't care if your mom is telling you or your dad or your family's like, get a 401k or, you know, trust Biden or whatever fucking garbage they're talking, get the vaccine, whatever crap they're spewing, you know, hold steady in your beliefs during these downturns as well. We're going to try to be a little bit more sober with because, you know, me and Charlie get that fucking Bitcoin mania too. We're human. And you know, Charlie's seen how wild I went in a nightclub in Tokyo when Bitcoin was like 60,000. He saw exactly how crazy I was. And I was like fucking shouting from the rafters and just being an animal. and you know, remember the VIP guy like brought us like the sign that says like Bitcoin made me do it, and all that stuff.
That was great. You know? I love it.
And you know, all these people are like, what are these fucking crazy foreigners talking about Bitcoin and what are they doing buying up this VIP and stuff? But you know, we're victim to the Bitcoin mania, and we're also we are slightly victims to the Bitcoin downside as well. So we're gonna do our best to kind of have more of a tempered approach. You know, ride like you know, what's his name? Steph Curry said something pretty cool. He's like, you know, I ride the highs the same way as I ride the lows. Like, you know,
oh yeah, gotta be
even keel.
Yep.
And
same with what's it, Kawhi Leonard as well. He has a lot of those types of quotes, and it's just like the best players, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So that being said, you know, we're just we're gonna talk about things here. We're not going anywhere. Fuck, I could get hospitalized, and I would broadcast from the goddamn fucking from the hospital. I don't care. And Charlie, look, you just got a fat donation. What is that?
Appreciate that. As your friend.
A159.99. What is that?
Australian.
How many dollars is that in real life? Shout out to our brother Greg Bell from the land down under, 159 Australian dollar super chat. Thank you so much. Great guy. I've done some consultations with him. Another guy that has been watching us closely. Very intelligent guy. Guy's very, very even keeled, smart guy. Take care of his health, take care of his fitness. You know, very, very good person as well. You know, that just shows you the kind of people we have in the community. We're helping out. Cam Jaffer, $6.99, the super chat Canadian. I have to watch the replay because I'm a pleb and I'm at work, so I'll miss some bits. Shout out to the Milligan. It's okay. We were all plebs at one point. Black Magic 553, $5 super chat says, I'm loading up on as much Bitcoin as I can before the price skyrockets. That's the mentality, buddy. That is the mentality. Charlie Spark 55 wants to know, where is Charlie's haircut?
Had to work with my web developer today.
Shout out to KK. She did the dollar translation, so it looks like $117.34. Thank you, darling. Appreciate that. What do you say, Charlie? How you take the lead on this one?
Yeah, let's take a look at the charts. What's happening with the price? How we're going to go to zero, as Peter Schiff would say, and all that jazz. Because it is what it is. Let's see here.
There's another one of our may or may not be a newly minted millionaire, completely anonymous guy. I'm not going to say anything about him, but know your worth. Charlie and I know exactly who he is. Because MLD, Charlie, and Miguel, I am surpassing my portfolio all-time high and almost at 7 figures. Less than 1 year.
Beautiful.
Less than 1 year.
Those are the stories that fucking make my day, man.
Less than 1 year. That's all I'm going to say. RP Awakened Mindset with the $5 super chat says, long time, no donate, still believe in crypto, even though it's down right now. Keep up the work. I still believe in you guys. Thank you so much, man. We really appreciate that. Appreciate that so much. Go ahead, Charlie.
All right. You got this?
Take the reins. Oh, there we are. Yeah, yes, sir. Got it. Here we go.
All right, cool.
Get us off the screen. Yep, we got full screen. Go ahead, brother.
All right, sweet. So yeah, I mean, like just a nice waterfall to the upside of green candles, right? Straight. I mean, we haven't had this much bullishness in Bitcoin's price in quite a while. You can see, just kind of, I would say the last time that we had this was, when everything was pretty damn bullish, right? So it is a pretty big move, but not out of the woods yet in terms of potential downside action. I'll take a look at two cases, right? And just keep it as simple as possible. The case to the downside and the case to the upside, and when and where to look for that. So
beautiful. I just have to say, that's so beautiful. That's the prettiest thing. And I've seen a lot of pretty girls this week. That's the prettiest thing I've
seen. Exactly. And yeah, if you go from peak to peak now, it's about almost 40% of an uptick from bottom to top of where we've been so far. And so yeah, basically time and price. What time should you pay attention to? Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then what price should you be looking at, or what prices should you be looking at as well? Pretty simple, right? We have the bottom of the 60-day cycle here on July 21st. So we have the 30-day cycle, midpoint, right? The 30-day point, the midpoint of the 60-day cycle here on August 20th, right? And so as we get closer to this date, right, we're going to look for, are we going to get one of these where we have the high before day 30, before the midpoint, which is, a bearish type setup, or are we going to see something like this where we have the high well past day 30 and have a pretty bullish setup? Now, one thing I will say is if we're within like 4 or 5 days of day 30 on either side, on either the upside or lower, right? Like basically on the first half or the second half, but right, just like 5 days within there, kind of like what we had on the 26th, that is relatively neutral. So this last cycle here was bearish to neutral. And so we didn't see as severe of a price dip as we saw the previous cycle, where we had a very clear left translated cycle, which is the high before the mid 30 point, right? And usually before day 25. So that was a very clear one here, and that led to a pretty big downtrend. So we'll see where that is. And so the two prices to pay attention to are basically here, 45,000 or just under where that 200-day moving average is. And the other price to pay attention to, you can look at it as the low from that major part of the dip, or you can even bring it down a little bit further to the wick here of this candle. So anywhere between about 28,500 to about 30,000 and some change, right? That area is the area to pay attention to the downside. So pretty damn simple. The closer we get to August 20th, which one is more probabilistic, right? Based on, I guess if we were to like take these prices exactly and say, okay, let's just round it down to 30,000 and 45,000, right? So right in between there, right? Basically it's a 12,500 difference. So about $6,000 difference, right? So we'll just say 36,500 ish, or 36,250, whatever, however detailed you want to be on that. The closer we are, let's just put that area like right around here, if I just put like a small line there, right around that midpoint at 36,000 and some change. If we're below there and closer to here, then it's more likely that we break down and go lower. If we're above this line and we're closer to here on the August 20th, then it's more likely that we break above that 200-day moving average and have a bullish second half of the cycle, which would be from August 20th to mid-September. So that's, I mean, you can just like look at that. Okay, cool. Go on vacation, sit back, relax, come back as things get closer to that date, right? So it's not overly complicated. There are a bunch of other ways to look at this as well, but that's the basic. I would say if we pull back and we take a look on the weekly chart, and if we were to turn on that 20-day moving average on the middle Bollinger Bands, that's also around that $45,000 range. It is trending lower, but right around that range, we should experience some resistance. So we'll see how much. Then the more important thing on Bitcoin right now is actually the monthly chart. We have about 3.5 days before the monthly chart is closed. And the previous high of this candle here, this red candle, was 41,341. So if Bitcoin can close above there, basically if it can close above $41,400, right,
By
on
Friday?
the month, by Sunday night UTC time, midnight on UTC Sunday.
I have faith. I'm calling
Or
it.
sorry,
It's going to happen.
is that the end of the month? Let me double check.
End of the month is actually this Friday.
Oh, okay. Then yeah. Sorry, Friday night at midnight UTC time. So that will be in Tokyo, it's 9 a.m. on Saturday morning. But for the United States people, it will be different. But yeah, so just watching that here at the early or the end of part of this month, that will give you a clue as to, if we get more pump. And, we could still get a pump at a bullish cycle and still not be out of the bear trend, technically speaking.
Right.
But if we kind of pull this back to a weekly chart again,
it's Can you go back to that chart, please?
Yeah.
I just said, again, because we are entertainment, but we're also education. Guys, take a look at just what we had there. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months of consecutive price. I mean, not even Jesus Christ. Yeah. And then so when we, when we do have a decompressive movement, like just step off the building ledge, like don't jump. It's just like Charlie always says, when in doubt, zoom out. And look, this is a healthy correction that we went through. This is like, it's, I know you guys get caught up in your emotions. You guys are fucking quitting your jobs and telling your girlfriends to go to hell. You're going to get a hotter girlfriend and all this stuff. But again, even keel and just looking at the chart and looking at the data and divorcing yourself from your emotions is so important, guys.
Yep. And I think, some people get emotional for different reasons. Sometimes they put themselves in a bad situation because they weren't disciplined when they first came into the market, or they just didn't know any better, which, you got to kind of just forgive yourself for that. And, then continue learning, right? It's the people who burn themselves out of the market and just stomp away, with a pouty face and whatever, those are the people who usually they in their heart of hearts, they wish they would have stayed paying attention to the market, but because they're so ego driven and basically just, are emotionally driven as well, they never come back. And that's unfortunate because this is the best performing asset class in the entire world over the last 12 years. So, you might want to pay attention to it.
Yeah. Like even on my channel right now, there's only like less than 100 people watching. Cause dude, I primarily talk about dating and the male self-improvement stuff, but dude, the quickest way to improve yourself is to get fucking rich. And, it just shows you a sign of the times. And just, I think when we hit 50K, we're going to see mania come back and the channels are going to be blowing up, subscribership, consultations, everything. But like I said, now is the time where now, actually not even now, like 3 weeks ago is the time when money is made. Like that, like when you're buying and stuff, not now on the uptrend, you still make money. I mean, in the long term, yeah, you're going to make some huge cash, but I mean, just be careful with the emotional highs and lows. I just want to keep on stressing that.
Yep. And one simple thing that I've mentioned to people that they can do. I mean, you're talking about inner game July, right? You got to you got to have that introspection, basically, and understand like how you react to this stuff, because once you got money in it, it'll get you going for sure. And that's the fun
Yeah.
part about it. But it's also, for some people, depending on their personality, it can be uh, difficult, right? And so one simple thing that you can do is you can literally write like a brief crypto journal, right? Not like saying, dear diary, this is how I feel about Bitcoin today, but like, just whenever you make a purchase or whenever you make a decision and you do something, right? Mention what you're doing, like at what time, what price, what the, like in one sentence, why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then also how your emotional state is at that time, right? So one sentence about your logical, and then one sentence about your emotion. And if you go back and look at that, if you're looking at charts, all we're doing here, and if we're looking at fundamental analysis as well, all we're doing in crypto is pattern recognition. So then you can start doing pattern recognition on your internal self, right? And so if you can do pattern recognition on that, really simple to do, right? But you need that data to look back on, because sometimes you'll be like, oh, I think I felt like this at the time, right? And it's much easier if it's right in front of your face and be like, oh yeah, I just buy tops, or like whatever situation you put yourself in, you're like, oh, now I know when that situation comes and I get that feeling or urge to do something and it's not in my best interest, or it's the opposite of what I should be doing. Now I can logically remember that and then hold myself back, right? And then do the correct thing. And sometimes people just, their emotion tells them to do the opposite of what their logic tells them to do. And the fear and greed is stronger than your logic. No matter how logical of a person that you are, no matter how experienced you are, fear and greed definitely rule when it comes to the money markets. So you have to understand which type you are, and then just take note of that, and then sometimes do the opposite of what you feel. That's super simple technique as well that people can do. But I've seen some people hear that quite a lot, but not really listen to that. And now I'm starting to see in some of the chats, people being like, yeah, I'm doing that now, and it's really helped. So just something out there, for a little, tidbit there. If we're taking a look at Ethereum, right, we have two times for Ethereum to pay attention to, because Ethereum, this is interesting. The previous cycle on Ethereum was actually about 4 or 5 days different than Bitcoin, but they basically got a low here on the same day for the cycle low. So now Ethereum and Bitcoin are lockstep with each other. So Ethereum will do whatever Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum will go up. So the event here on August 4th, being EIP 1559, does have an effect on the market, but more so, I would say, about 3 months afterwards. It will have a stronger effect to hold Ethereum up if we're in a downtrend, or to pump Ethereum up if we're back in an uptrend. So regardless of whichever way you look at it, this is positive news for Ethereum. So that's one place to look at. And then also August 20th, which will be the mid point of the cycle. And so for Ethereum, it's a little bit different. I would say if I just turn on, we're trying to break up on the Bollinger Bands right now. So Ethereum getting a lot of resistance on the daily. But if we just turn on a few of these moving averages, these areas here, right around that $2,550, $2,550, and right above where these previous highs were at about 2,400 and a quarter, that area right there is going to be stiff resistance for Ethereum. So if Ethereum could smash through that area and hold above 2,600 for, let's say, 4 or 5 days, then I would say that would be a strong indication that Ethereum wants to have a pretty bullish cycle. Now, if we were to take a trend line across here, just from the previous highs, right? And if I were to turn these off, and then if I were to take a look at the bottoms, this pattern here is a type of triangle pattern, which is pretty nice, descending wedge. And what you do with this pattern, so we already broke to the upside of this pattern, but we could have a dead cat bounce, right? And then test the lows. It really just depends on what Bitcoin does. But technically speaking, right, if this pattern does play out, then what you do with this pattern is you take the high of the triangle down to the lows, which, well, I guess I have to measure it from, you can measure it in percentage or you can measure it in price, however you feel will best represent your target. But this is about a 69% increase from where we break out, right? And that would bring the price, roughly speaking, on Ethereum, if it does play out, doesn't have to play out, right? But if it does, up to $3,700. So that would be nice to see play out. So let's see if that pattern does play out. But regardless, even if it doesn't, right? Same thing as Bitcoin. You just pay attention to the cycles, and you pay attention to what it is happening on the fundamental level as well. And then you don't have to worry about this. You can kind of look at this at a glance every single day for 5 minutes, and then go about the rest of your day and maybe learn, use the rest of your time for whatever you're going to look for in crypto to study and understand, what's happening. So yeah, I would say that's all the information you really need on Bitcoin, Ethereum at the current moment. Bitcoin dominance really testing the bottom part of this trend line here. So it'll be interesting to see if that has any effect on it, or if it just breaks right through it, gets back up to this 50% dominance, where 50% of the market cap, if we go to coinmarketcap.com, we currently have about $1.5 trillion in the cryptocurrency space. And that would bring Bitcoin's portion up, just a little bit more.
Ethereum hasn't moved much in regards to market cap.
No, Ethereum. One cool thing about Ethereum, right, is so when prices go down, right, especially once Bitcoin went below about 42,000, then basically the market said, okay, Bitcoin, it's your turn. You're the one who's ruling where the price goes, and so Ethereum just kind of bowed down to Bitcoin at that point. Once we get back above $45,000 or $50,000, then Ethereum will start to gain on Bitcoin again. But while we're trending down or sideways, Ethereum's just going to kind of, give the reins of the market to Bitcoin. But the one cool thing about Ethereum, right, is that even though it had a significant drop here, right, if you look at not the highs, but if you look at the areas here, when, basically when Bitcoin was topping around 2,500 and earlier, it really, held up pretty well above that $2,000 or $2,000 mark, right? It really just went below there very briefly. And so it is pretty strong of an asset, and it's only going to get stronger with the EIP 1559 coming out on around August 4th. So yeah, it's a pretty, I would say the market is really healthy right now, and it's a great time to be dollar cost averaging in. Yeah, I would say the Bitcoin and Ethereum in general right now are relatively undervalued still. As long as Bitcoin is below $45,000, it's on a discount, right? So people who buy Bitcoin on a discount, consistently over time, right, they end up in the winners club. That's pretty much it. And that's the time that you want to be buying, basically. So it is the time where people are most fearful, asking the most questions, or just leaving the market in general. And so that's a time, right, when nobody's paying attention, or when people are extremely fearful. That's a time to be doing stuff. Whereas most people, right, they want to be jumping into the action when everybody else is making money. They want to see other people making money before they jump in, which usually means you're going to jump in late. So, you're just going to kind of fight those emotions a little bit. So that's the majority here. We can move on to talking about Pocahontas.
Can we do a quick dot? Is that possible?
Oh yeah. I pulled up the Kusama to dot ratio. So dot is actually a little bit more dominant here than Kusama. It has broken that previous trend line. So right now, basically this is going sideways. But you can see here it's trying to roll down a little bit. So for those people who are looking at this ratio, just understand that trend line has been broken. But if we want to go over to, let's just go over to
.USD maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the juicy one. Oh baby.
Yeah, it's come up quite well. So since that dip,
who needs Cialis when you look at this chart? I mean, this makes me I love it.
Yeah, so whenever anything's bullish, the altcoins go up more than Bitcoin, and whenever anything's bearish, they go down more than Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin's that relatively stable asset by comparison. But yeah, from bottom to top of that move over the last 1 week, it had gone up about 54%. Currently, still on about a 40% increase. So relatively similar to Bitcoin, a little bit outpacing it in that regard. But if we take a look here on the weekly chart, I mean, it's been a pretty short price history. It's only been out since last August. And we were, during this time here when it first came out, that was the time that we're saying just accumulate. And we never came back down into the accumulation zone. I think it hit $10 and the exact low was $10.35. So, just shy of there. And that doesn't mean it can't go down more, right? If it just really depends on what Bitcoin's going to do again. So just barely have enough time here for the 50-day or 50-week moving average. If we turn it back to the daily, let's see if we got anything. So yeah, that's the area where we're going to get resistance on DOT, right? Is around $16. So if DOT could return to the $20 zone or higher, that would be probably pretty positive. Haven't taken a look at it on the monthly yet, but yeah, kind of similar to Bitcoin, right? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months in a row of up. We got 4 months down here. So whenever you get like a lot of consecutive months in a row, usually you're bound for a green candle in here. But it's all dependent at this moment. Everything is basically waiting for Bitcoin to do its thing. So it's pretty much all dependent on what Bitcoin is going to do. So I would say DOT has a lot of headwind for it, but great, discounts if you believe in this thing and understand the fundamentals in detail. So if you do look at the RSI here, you can see that it was trending down and now it has broken out of that pattern ever so slightly. So yeah, it may have a run, but again, only if Bitcoin does.
I love it.
Yep.
So now let me ask you something, Charlie. Going back to I'll pull this off. Shout out to Stefanescu Dragos with the 24.99 Rona. Shout out. When Sell Moon, 14K December easily.
There we go.
What are the chances you think that this is a fake out, Charlie?
Oh yeah, let's look at the downside. So let me pull up that Bitcoin chart one more time. I would say 40%, 40 to 60%, depending on if you're a bear or a bull, you can kind of, you're going to have rose colored glasses or whatever a little bit. If we pull up Bitcoin on a cleaner chart, right, we have this chance where the wave 4, right, we could consider the wave 4 to be in, or the wave 4 is not yet in. If the wave 4 is not yet in, right, basically, and this is looking at Elliott waves for those who may not be familiar, and I would say, yeah, basically the $23,000 to $24,000 region would be the area to the downside to look for, right? If we were to break below these lows and we're to be below $36,000 closer to August 20th. All right. So around August 20th, pay attention to where Bitcoin is. If it's below 36,000 or significantly below 36,000, it looks like it's going to break below these, the 30,000 range again. Then that area to try to scoop more up, I would say, obviously you want to scoop some up here because, we've only really gotten a few chances to buy Bitcoin at $30,000. So I would still scoop some up there. And if it goes lower, scoop some up down here again. And if it goes lower than that, then, congratulations, you're just going to get a better dollar cost average in over time. And when Bitcoin does come back, you're golden. So it'd be stupid to ignore the downside risk, right? And just be like, I'm going all in here, baby. And then just watch it go down. So, you got to do your due diligence and make sure that, if you go all in on one price, you're going to be extremely emotional about that price. So it's not about being right or wrong. Like, yeah, maybe you prefer, like, I want to get that juicy dip and I want to put everything in at 24K and then it goes to 55. And you're like, shit. So, the ego is nice to be right and all those types of things. But at the same time, it's better just to make money. Right. And so dollar cost averaging really does help that. And yeah, that's why me and dollar cost crypto mentioned that. Miguel mentioned that in the course. So that's the downside risk.
Okay. I love it. Like I said, I'm not holding my breath, but I do know October. I've never looked forward to a year going by faster in my entire life than I have this year, and just because I've been so optimistic about what's going to happen. We're going to see
Mm.
some, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but in my opinion, I feel like we're going to see some serious fireworks quarter four, and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm just happy about everything that's happening, and you know, I will say this just to add a little bit, like what we talk about keeping it sober. You know, we're not saying this is the great comeback. Okay, let's just
Mm.
clarify that now. And
I
you
think
guys
I,
should go
I
ahead.
think the last time we did that was remember what was his name? That troll in your chat. I forgot the kid's name, but he's like, it's going to $5,000, and then
Tom
we're like, oh,
Bombadil.
no, it wasn't Tom.
Rest in peace, Tom Bombadil.
Well, he's becoming a low key. I'm not going to say millionaire, but I'm not sure. But
Oh,
just
Jesus, is
generally speaking,
real.
his investments have gone well since he jumped into the Q4 crypto mindset course, regardless of his emotional state. But yeah, because he staked it out and is hodling, right? But no, I forget the other kid's name. Barrett. I think it was
Oh yeah.
Barrett. Yeah, that was hilarious. He was like it was just before the Corona crash. I was just like, yeah, you called the black swan there, Barrett. But so it's one of these things where that's why it's better to be a little bit even keeled, because if we did, I mean, when we got that discount at $4,000 for Bitcoin from the Corona crash, where it took every market down, significantly, that was the best buying opportunity, right? I know Greg B, who's been a long time viewer, right? He just bought that 4K Bitcoin up like mad because it'd been, very rare to see that for him since he was paying attention to crypto. And I mean, we're 10 times higher than the price, like what, a year and 2 months later. Like, so that's where the conviction and understanding about crypto and Bitcoin really comes in. If you can be convicted about this because you understand the fundamentals, you can look at the price trajectory, and you can understand these things at least to a basic level, then that gives you the confidence to buy at those low prices, and that's where you make the most money.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm excited for what's going to be happening this year, and you know, another thing is this, guys. Like, we are having a rebound, but like a lot of you guys really are trying to be the perfect trader, right? And
Mm.
you have to realize that doesn't exist. There is no
No.
perfect trading group. There is no perfect trading guru.
And if anybody says they are, they're selling you snake oil.
Yeah, join my WhatsApp group by dialing 444 whatever in one of our comment sections, right?
Remember that one kid that we saw? I forget which channel it was, but he was saying like, yeah, he was like the best trader ever. And then like he's just a scam stuff just came out like over the woodwork like crazy. Forget what his name was, but that was an interesting story. But anyways, I was just saying if you remembered that. If you don't, then yeah, because I can't remember the kid's name for the life of me. Anywho, what were you saying?
Well, no, I'm just saying that the whole situation of people trying to be like the perfect trader, trying to get everything perfect. Like life doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Life doesn't work like that. And so, stop trying to like time the markets. Somebody booked a consultation with me the other day. He's like, how do you time the markets? Because like I'd like to time the markets perfectly. He's a good kid. He's naive. I was like, listen, kid, if I could time the markets perfectly, I wouldn't be on the phone with you right now. I'd be on a jet with 10 fucking supermodels, like consistently in a state of bliss.
I'll give it a couple of years.
But that's another thing too. We want to bring a sobering, because I know a lot of people now are like, oh, here we go, moon gang, we're getting ready to go off to the moon now. And I'm not saying that's not gonna happen, but let's just be sober about everything, and take it one day at a time, one by one, and continue to educate yourself by hitting the like button, subscribing to our channels, turning the notification bell on, joining the crypto mindset course, joining my group, the Masculine Empowerment Network. Get around guys that are all about self-improvement and making these fucking gains. We got a super chat coming in here. King Eric the Plumber 499 super chat says, hey guys, great show. Can we expect one more dip, maybe 1.7K before the flipping? Charlie.
Yeah, so go back and watch the part on the charts there that we were talking about Bitcoin and everything basically being reliant on Bitcoin. So that's why we focus on Bitcoin first, is because when you look at Bitcoin, you're going to understand then what can happen on Ethereum, right? So yeah, if Bitcoin goes back down to $29,000 or below, then the answer is yes. But it's all dependent on Bitcoin. So that's why, whenever you take a look at crypto, right, it's like, okay, what's Bitcoin doing? What phase of a Bitcoin cycle is it in, right? Is it in accumulation time? Is it in growth time? Is it in hype time? Or is it in top time, right? And that'll tell you where Ethereum is going to go. And so once Bitcoin gets back above $45,000, I would say then that's the time, right? Ethereum will start running wild. But before that time, basically Ethereum is just going to trail Bitcoin.
As it should, but still going to be solid. Anyways, so let's talk about Pocahontas.
Oh man,
Pocahontas.
the memes keep writing themselves. It's like,
Oh Lord.
it's like when you're, like that senile old grandma down the street with all the cats and everything. It's just like she keeps yelling at the clouds or whatever, and it's just like, all right, grandma, we'll just take you back down to the nursing home. But it's basically what it comes down to when you listen to this stuff. But yeah, let's take a quick look at a few different articles that I would say are worthwhile. Oh, I gotta actually share my sound if we want to take a look at one of these. Let me try it again.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that? All right, there we go. All right, can you yeah, I guess both of these have enough stuff in them just to be like, God damn it. But I guess we'll take a look at the video first, and we can pause it. Just let me know when you want to pause it, if you want to chime something in.
No, it does. We'll go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll put it on blast, but I don't know if it'll be too loud, but we'll see. So all the, first we got Pomp here. Pomp's very solid Bitcoin investor, and understands, the Bitcoin space very well. He's been in there for quite a while. It's just like, LMAO went on TV and compared Bitcoin to drugs. Elizabeth Warren did. You can't make this stuff up. So definitely.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I know. I know. Like, I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it. Can she just hurry up and die already? In a video game, of course, but
yeah, yeah, government's just basically funding the crap out of the markets right now through their favorite manipulation tool called CNBC. Let's listen.
Senator Warren joins us right now. She, of course, chairs the Banking Subcommittee on Economic Policy. Senator, welcome, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Good to be here.
It was fascinating to watch the hearing yesterday. And here's where I wanted to start the conversation. We had Mike Novogratz on the program in the last hour. He's in the crypto business, in the industry. And one of the big questions is how to regulate the industry, but also when to regulate the industry, because there is an element where this is still early stage. It's still startup. And how much regulation do you want to put on now in the same kind of breath that we would have had a conversation about should have we regulated the internet more or not in the 1990s?
So we could ask some people, what do you think she's going to say next?
I just fucking hate this bitch, bro. I fucking hate her. I don't care. It's a righteous fucking anger, but look at this smug fucking cunt, bro, who doesn't know, probably doesn't even know
which one are you talking about? No.
Both of them.
Both.
Doesn't even know how to fucking look up a transaction on the blockchain. Probably doesn't even know the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. But all of a sudden, she wants to make some governing decisions on an asset that she has no idea how it works. And she also has no idea that she can't fucking stop it.
Yep.
Anyways, I'm off my soapbox. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Also, this is why education and guys going and educating themselves in the crypto space is so important, because when normal people hear stuff coming out of her mouth, they're like, oh, that sounds reasonable because I don't understand much or anything about cryptocurrency, right? But when you understand the industry and then you hear it, it's just like that nails on a chalkboard. It's just like God damn, like, just the manipulation of the media is ridiculous.
You might look at this another way. Look at the lesson from history about when do we regulate drugs?
So, okay,
God.
he goes with like a reasonable one, being like, okay, should we have regulated the internet more in the mid 90s? I would say the tech bubble, wasn't terrible. It's not like people, went homeless and stuff. Maybe a few stupid people who went to the casino did, right? The Wall Street casino. But it birthed companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, companies that people highly value, right? And so it basically the tech stocks, right? They do hold up the United States economy compared to other economies around the world because we have Silicon Valley, we have that innovation, right? So the United States is stronger for the tech boom in the 90s. And then she's going to go right directly to the emotional pinpoint of drugs. So, yeah, this is going to be fun.
As long as people can sell snake oil, it turns out that nobody.
Oh my God! Pause it. It's fucking is a politician here talking about selling snake oil?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I'm not fucking crazy.
There we go.
In having good drugs that were safe and that helped people. And once we really had an FDA that stood up and that said, you know what, we're going to test these drugs before they go on the market. We're going to assure the public that they are safe. Then look what happened. We got.
I mean, you could even argue recently, did they do that properly with a lot of things that they've been pushing on people in the last, few months?
A whole lot more.
You know what fucking shits on the credibility of this entire broadcast? One is the fact that they're listening to this dumb bitch, and two, they have Dogecoin on the fucking screen. I mean,
because Ripple and Dogecoin represent the cryptocurrency markets, right? Like, I mean, obviously they are a part of the cryptocurrency market, but I would say the only two that are worth looking at here are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all these other coins that they're looking at. They've been looking at this because of 2017. So this is how far the media is back, and most of these people in the government are back. They still think we're in 2017 crypto land, right? They barely even know much about DeFi. They know the words decentralized finance and the fact that we are trying to disintermediate the banks and replace a lot of their functions. But that's about to all the extent that they know, and therefore it's the boogeyman. It's bad, right? But yeah, let's listen to this a little bit more.
A whole lot more investment and obviously a much bigger market that helped the entire world. I don't want to wait until a whole lot of people, a whole lot of small investors, a whole lot of small traders have been completely wiped out. I think rules of the road that are there at the beginning that people say, we got a cop on the beat, give people a lot of confidence, and they mean that the bad actors know, hey, somebody's watching out and we can't keep pushing frauds on people.
Because she cares about you.
Like all the other politicians.
Yep. She's like, I don't want you to lose money. No, it's like, no, I don't want to lose money because the banks are in control. They're helping line my pockets while they're printing a ton of money here and pushing out the middle class. But she won't say that. So, that's the first one. Oh man, but she keeps on going, right? So you look at Ivan on Tech, right? Had a nice tweet here. Basically, the article here, right? Talking about if we go over to the title of the article, Senator Warren, crypto puts the financial system in the hands of shadowy supercoders. Ooh.
All right, you and me are super coders, huh?
Right. And then Ivan's take on it, because he teaches code and that stuff. Shadowy coders, crypto's open, transparent, open for everyone, same rules for everyone. Traditional finance is somewhat of a cartel. He's being nice. It is a cartel, and a lot of shadowy business there, a lot more shadowy business there. That's 100% the case, right? But then you open up the article, and what are your normies going to read? If they even get this far into crypto, right, to be reading what this clown has to say. So first of all, yeah, she's a prominent crypto skeptic. So what do you think she's going to say? Let's see here.
I seriously could watch her get hit by a bus in front of me and get completely vaporized. And the only thing that would concern me is like, oh, did she get any blood on my fucking, my Gucci shirt? I despise this chick. I don't care. Probably demonetized like a motherfucker by now, but I don't care. These people are criminals. These people are the biggest pieces of shit America has ever created. And the fact that they have the audacity to A, think we're stupid enough to think they fucking care about us, and B, have the audacity to think that they can stop this global financial revolution for their petty gain on their fucking dwindling existence as something relevant to podunk citizens of whatever shithole fucking place she's the senator of. I mean, maybe I'm overreacting, but put a 1 in the chat if you agree with me. Put a 5 if you don't agree with me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a maniac with a golden gorilla statue in his living room. But,
well, yeah, it's possible. But no, you made me think of something while you were within that little rant, and I was forgetting exactly what I was wanting to say. But yeah, it looks like the chat's got your back on that one. And yeah, all people of all backgrounds, right, can recognize that politicians double speak, right? Like, do you trust these guys, to do this? Oh, that was the thing that I was going to say was, one of the reasons why they're going so hard after crypto, they literally had like 3 different hearings specifically for cryptocurrency yesterday when the prices were up, right? For a week straight. Like, oh yeah, what can we do to try to push the price back down again? Oh yeah. And to, hurt some of the little investors who got in maybe in February, March, April, or May, right? What can we do to help these people? No, what can we do to hurt them and get them scared and push them out of the market? Well, we can shit talk crypto for a whole day. That's the best use of our government time that the citizens pay taxes and therefore their salaries for, right? Meanwhile, what they could be doing is they could be going out there and trying to fix the broken financial system that the United States has. And the reason why, crypto is going to win at the end is because in order for them to save the financial system, they have to keep printing more and more and more money and inflating the dollar faster than they can count, right? And so that alone in and of itself will simply, Bitcoin is going to maintain its value, right? 1 Bitcoin is always 1 Bitcoin, and dollar value wise, right, it's just going to explode and gain more interest again and again and again and again and again, because the system that they've structured through the Bank of International Settlements and the Federal Reserve of the United States is failing. It's just clear as day. And, it's failed for 100 years. It's a way to steal your wealth. And so that's why people are going to cryptocurrency, because you have the guys like the taxi driver that I was talking about at the beginning of the show. You have your everyday people who, they work really, really hard for their money and their value, right? And they give a lot of value to the world, and they come out with nothing for it at the end of the day when they need to retire, right? And the boomers are a huge example of this. There's more boomers than not right now, which are in financial hardship because they bought in hook, line, and sinker to 401ks, forever. And all that is being gutted through the traditional financial system. So, and, then you get the government and banks basically stealing people's land or taking people's land. That's not new. So,
Jesus. Fucking Pocahontas know about that. Jesus. Okay. Go
yeah,
ahead.
she should know about it, right?
Fucking traitor.
And, yeah, it's just one of these things where it's like, it's these guys aren't going to change the game. So we need to, right? And that's where it comes down to just the core principles of freedom, right? And if you attribute that to how the United States was created or not, doesn't matter. But basically, get back to those colonial days where you're like, I want to be free of oppression, and I want to maintain my value, and I want to live a good life, and I want to understand. They don't teach you finance in school for a reason, right? Because they don't want you starting to think for yourself and starting to plan for yourself and actually be successful in life. But what they do train you for is how to get into a, slave wage job that you can never leave. And then you're going to work till you're 75 years old, and yeah, it's just getting to a point of absolute ridiculousness that people are starting to push back. And it's just going to be a bigger and bigger wave of people pushing back through cryptocurrency because people want to control their money. People want to be able to they want to be able to go spend their money when they want to, right? They don't want JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, all these crooks telling them where they can and can't spend their money, when they can and can't spend their money, if they can even access their money at all, right? So let's take a look at some of these just ridiculous quotes. So the actual title,
Let me read this super chat real quick from Ricky
go
Webster. 499 super chat says, I'm interested in a beginner crypto knowledge and investing. Which one of your courses would you recommend, Charlie? Oh, yeah. Fukin props to do MLD. Thanks so much, Ricky. You just got to get on the crypto mindset waiting list. The next course will be out in Q3 of this year. So you're going to want to be paying attention to Charlie's channel. Go ahead and subscribe to Cultivate Crypto on YouTube. Turn the notification bell on because the YouTube Nazis hate us. So you got to turn the notification bell on, and that will be the fastest way for you to get educated in cryptocurrency in today's day and age. There's no better course than the Crypto Mindset course. It is the best crypto education course on the planet. MIT, Harvard, all these people are in Charlie's shadow. It is the best crypto mindset course, cryptocurrency course on the planet. Doesn't matter if we don't have 1 billion subscribers and followers over here. We are making millionaires. And if you want to join those ranks, you know what to do. Go ahead, Charlie.
There we go. So yeah, they literally titled the hearing cryptocurrencies. What are they good for? So that already has a negative spinning connotation right on top of it, So they're just like, all right, let's take out the boxing gloves and just beat up on cryptocurrencies all day. That sounds fun, right? And our taxpayer dollars are paying for this bullshit. So all warning signs are flashing, said Warren. The hype, the volatility, the wild claims that turn out to be false. Right? Did pets.com fulfill its promise? But Amazon, right? Everybody was like, oh no, Amazon, books are for Barnes and Noble,
Books
Amazon's
a million.
numbers. What?
Books a million. Oh, wait, rest in peace.
And it's just like, some of these things will succeed, some of them won't. That is what we call innovation, right? You get 95% of these things failing and 5% succeeding, and then those ones, create the industry. I mean, it's the same thing as what we were talking about at the beginning of that clip with the CNBC guy who was just like, yeah, did you overregulate in the internet in the mid 90s? No. So why would you do so here? But they want to peddle this because they're losing control. They don't like it. As the crypto market grows, so do the risks to our financial stability and our economy. The reason being of what we're doing with the Federal Reserve, not what crypto is doing. But she wants to blame it on crypto, where she should, go ask Jerome Powell to take a look in the mirror. Let's see here. What else does she have to say? Oh, yeah. Instead of leaving our financial system at the whims of giant banks, crypto puts the system at the whims of some shadowy, faceless group of super coders and miners, which doesn't sound better to me. And going back to what Ivan on Tech was saying, 100% true. Crypto is 100% transparent, open source, open for everyone, same rules for everyone. Traditional finance is a cartel and a lot more shadowy business going on over there. It's not even comparable. Not even comparable.
Charlie, we're going to go to Harajuku and make some new shirts. They're going to say super coder on them. That's the next shirt we're making. We're making super coder shirts. I'm a super coder.
Super coder.
Shadowy. I'm making super coder shirt. It's going to go down.
Yeah, we got to put shadowy on there. Got to shadowy super coder.
Shadowy super coder. I'm not joking. I'm making a fucking shirt.
I'll go with you. Yeah, sounds great. Let's see here. What other BS do they have to say? So this other Senator Sherrod Brown, right, basically says regulators need to do their job and step in before it's too late, right? Thinking that everybody's going to lose their money in this. Let's see. Any other stupid quotes? Got a motorcycle going out there. Let's see here. Oh yeah, we got the other clown jumping in the room. So yesterday, in a letter to to Janet Yellen,
like fucking Ren and Stimpy, like fucking Pocahontas. Like, okay, yeah, Elizabeth Warren wants to talk about cryptocurrency to Janet Yellen and put on the face of like, yeah, this conversation is totally non-corrupt. Like, we are just two good people and we care about the well-being of the American population. It's just like, Charlie, do people believe these fucking cunts care about Americans? Like, we are in the minority, but and I know if I ask the chat's just gonna go fucking feral and be like, like,
No.
But like, honestly, I'm trying, like, because I'm so unplugged from this bullshit. Do people really trust these fucking cunts? Like, do people look at them as a sign of authority? Like, yeah, they're really gonna protect us from this dark internet money. Because if you're comparing the Bitcoin to drugs, America has clearly lost the war on drugs. And all you're telling me is that you're gonna lose this war against Bitcoin as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the fact that they're pushing back this hard, right, is what happens to an animal when you put it in a corner, right? It's going to fight for its life. But when you have, when you have an outmatched situation where they just don't, every time they try to fight back, right, by printing more money, then Bitcoin becomes higher in price and people jump into Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, more people understand crypto. And then they print more money. And it's just this perpetual cycle of no matter what they do, they're at the end of the day, this industry is not going away. Like you said, Pandora's box has been opened. But the reason, to answer your question, the reason why people believe them is because the manipulator. I was going to say the manipulator. I was like, how do you say manipulation and media together? I guess that would be the word. Yeah. You can see where my mind's going. But basically, the manipulation of the media, basically. Is so strong these days that it comes to the point of almost propaganda. And some people might think that's an extreme statement, but yeah, you can. I mean, there's this one person who's been on YouTube who I'm just like, damn, like she's speaking as much as she can, which is the lady named Yaomi Park, who is a defector from North Korea, and even she says America, you got propaganda on all of your media channels, like really, really hardcore. If somebody from North Korea is saying that about the United States, I think you should listen, because that didn't end well.
It's so, I mean, look, Artemis makes a perfect thing here. They're telling vaxxed people to wear masks again. Not only are they telling people, Charlie, that have the vaccine to wear masks, you know what they're telling them? They're saying you need to be wearing your mask indoors now. And the government will never give back something they've taken away. Sadly, normies can't seem to understand it. What we're seeing right now really is just I think really the elites and the people that are in control, hey, let's just abuse these motherfuckers to the fucking brink because people seem to keep on taking it. You know what I mean? And it's like a bully, right? A bully only responds to power. Okay, that's the only thing they respond to. You can't reason with a bully. You can't talk your way out of it. The only way you conquer a bully is you clench your fist up and you punch that son of a bitch right in his fucking mouth. And then he'll know, whoa, this is not an easy target anymore. And I'm not trying to fucking, fire the shot heard around the world right now. But did you get that Revolutionary War reference, Charlie?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was gonna throw you off the stream if you didn't. I'm not trying to fire the shot heard around the world right now, okay? But what I am trying to say is that I think that there is a boiling point. I don't know if I definitely say the pot is boiling, and I'm not saying I'm not trying to fucking January 6th incite some shit or whatever, but I think that I don't know, man, there's a lot of cracks in this wall of deception. And the thing about lies, right? The more you lie, the more you deceive, the more lies you need and more deception you need to keep the scam going. And same thing with the money printing, right? Because it's just a lie. And the only way you keep this fucking Ponzi going is just keep on printing. But this house of cards is going to fall down. And like I said, I'm not trying to incite anything. Don't fucking kill me, Hillary Clinton. But it's not good if you're on their side. It's not good if you're on their side. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. And I think it was Milton Friedman back in the 90s saying basically the only revolution that you can do these days, because they have people pretty much outmatched because they got the nukes, we don't, right? But basically they have people in that type of situation. The only true revolution you can do is a peaceful protest through something that is just, what do you call it? Just kind of subversive. And the internet and technology is that, right? So yeah, they don't like it. They can't control it. And we need to fight as hard as we can to keep it that way. But yeah, so here, right in her letter to Janet Yellen, Warren made an explicit plea for stricter regulations around cryptocurrencies, citing risks from stablecoins, DeFi, and protocols, and more. DeFi protocols, sorry, and more. The longer that the United States waits to adapt the proper regulatory regime for these assets, the more likely they will become so intertwined in our financial system that there could be potentially serious consequences if this market comes under stress. And which market is she talking about? She's talking about the crypto market, but what she should be talking about by this market is, the actual traditional market, which is, basically run by the Federal Reserve. If that market comes under stress, yeah, there's going to be serious consequences, and it's already coming under stress. And there are going to be serious consequences on that through more inflation, more stealing of your generational wealth. They want you to own nothing and be happy. Like how insane is that? It's absolutely ridiculous. So,
what do you think? What do you think it's like? You think it's like? Here's my. Hold on, Here's my thoughts. Okay. I say what I think right now is that we have too many normies out in the world. Like normies have normed out the world, and I think that what's happening right now, and this is super out of left field, but I'm probably right as usual. I think that the elites and the bankers and all that stuff, what they're doing right now is just thinning out the herd, and eventually they're going to get to a point where the strong people are there, and they're like, yeah, no, we're not going to let this happen, and then there's going to be a pushback, and then they're going to lose, right? But so we're just witnessing it right now, and we're kind of outraged from the outside because we're not part of the normie conforming society. And because but when it comes down to it, like that shit ain't happening to me, and I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. On a global scale, I just think that the cannon fodder is being taken out and victimized right now. Like I see girls on Bumble, even in Tokyo. They're like, I got the vaccine. I'm fully vaccinated. And then I see like some chick. Did I send you that one chick who took the vaccine and she's like literally like,
yeah, convulsions. One of my friends, his brother
nonstop. She like this is just like her life now for fucking 4 months.
Yeah, one of my friends, his brother, mid-30s, had a heart attack from his vaccine, J&J vaccine. Like, I mean, yeah, it's not the norm or whatever, but it's like, if like I'm fine. Well, my immune system's probably been built up from this thing. Like, so why do I need to put myself at that risk? Like
all those years of unprotected sex have finally paid me off.
And it doesn't even matter which political stance you're taking on this, right? Like it's whether you're right or left. They have divided the country so much over the last 20, 30 years into, are you with this tribe or that tribe, that people can't even have conversations anymore. And that's great for them, right? That's absolutely fantastic because, less power to the people, more power in our hands. We can, be the master of puppets even better, right? And it's absolutely insane. But there was one comment in the chat, which I think was pretty interesting. Can you see the clove art? Pull that one up, because I think it is important to kind of talk about. No, I think higher up.
Okay. This guy
talking about masks.
Oh, what does he say?
So, is that our 1121? He says, "What's the motive?"
Oh, hold on 1 second. I have both right here. There we
go.
Right here.
So just like divorce yourself apolitically from this, because I know people get really riled up by the politics because the media is literally pushing it on you every single day, and we usually keep it the politics out of crypto for as much as we can. But when the politicians start talking about crypto, it definitely comes up. But it's one of these things where I would highly recommend people go and watch these couple of videos. Now, I've recommended these videos for a year, and I would say maybe a handful of people have gone and watched them. But go and watch these two videos: "The Princes of the Yen." This is a free documentary about a little less than 2 hours on YouTube that you can watch. And the main economist, who's the macroeconomist who's in that talking, is a guy named Richard Werner, Werner. Super intelligent macroeconomist who during the late 80s, early 90s in Japan, a recession had started. And he basically gave you the formula for how a central bank will try to gain more power. And they're willing to literally hurt people to do so. And that happened in Japan in the late 90s and bled into the early 2000s. Basically, what happened was they had a recession, right? Japan had a recession at the end of the 80s. That was totally natural. And they could have ended that recession in the early 90s, around 92, 93, but they prolonged it for another extra 10 years, which did not help the everyday person in their economy to do what, right? Basically to get the Ministry of Finance, because there was the Central Bank of Japan and the Ministry of Finance. They wanted to make the people hurt so much that they would be like, cry uncle and say, hey, Ministry of Finance, you're not doing your job, so let's give all the power to the central bank. That's what they did. And then the central bank started selling out land in Japan to foreign entities, like all over the place. And, so that they could get a seat with the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements, which is the world's central bank. And if you watch that documentary, the main thing Richard Werner says is, in order to change a financial system, or in order to change the money system, you need a crisis, right? That's all it is. And whether that crisis came up, because somebody wanted it to, or because it just was there and they took advantage of it, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you think about it. It is a crisis. They are taking advantage of it, and they are literally using it to push people out of the middle class into the poor class and take land, especially from retail establishments, right? I mean, how many businesses, mom and pop shops, which are, like your everyday restaurant or whatever, or people who are owning stores and shopping malls. Now entire shopping malls are going bankrupt and stuff in America, and all these types of things, and then they buy up all the banks, buy up all the land cheap. And then who do you think they're going to sell it to? Their friends, people at the top. Yeah. And the rich just get richer and the middle class gets gone. And now all of a sudden, when you have a poor society, generally speaking, then the government can, make sure that you own nothing and you like it. And that's their goal. And if you go to the second video that I wanted to mention, is you can go and watch how Richard Werner explains how the crisis with what's happening now is related to finance. Is you can go on to Real Vision. So type in, I'll actually pull up this video so I can share it in the chat, because this one, he openly explains, and he's not a person who's like, I'm going to choose this side of politics or that side of politics. He's just like, this is what it is. This is how to look at this. So let me put up, basically what you would type in is Richard.
I'll read this off in the meantime. Joseph Avery, $5 super chat with the famous quote from one of the Rothschilds, says, "Give me control of a nation's money and I care not who makes the laws," right? And that really talks about the golden rule, right? What is the real golden rule? It's not do unto others as others do unto you, like Jesus said. Rest in peace, Jesus. But it's he rose again, so I guess not rest in peace. But
I just put the link in both of our chats.
But the real golden rule is he who has the gold makes the rules, right? And that's why the central banks, the elites, everybody hate Bitcoin, because it's putting the gold back in the hands of people, just giving them sovereignty, right? And me and Charlie are not saying like revolt against the government and do all that shit. I just want to be left alone. Fuck you. Leave me alone. I want to fucking grill steaks, play video games, and have sex and watch some YouTube videos. Like, leave me alone with your politics. No, I don't want the fucking vaccine. No, I'm not a super spreader. Yes, I'm a super coder. like just like
shadowy supercoder.
shadowy supercoder. Leave me alone. Just fuck off. And that's what. And again, that's what society wants. You know, that's why you're starting to see YouTube kind of. Did you notice YouTube is kind of lightening up on the demonetization? Have you noticed that? Because people are fucking complaining so much.
Oh,
they're complaining
right.
they're big time. And the thing is, if you once the consciousness decides what they want, it will start trending towards that direction. Correct. They'll start trending in that, right? And so I think that's what we're seeing now with exactly what's happening with cryptocurrency.
And the longer they manipulate this system in a variety of ways, whether it's politically or socially, or basically the ESG movement, the more that they do shit like that, just the more people are going to get this pent up, both sides of the fence, right? Both sides of the fence. The more they separate people as well and say, like, you're over here and you're over here, and there's no middle ground. We can't talk to each other because, that would, create a democracy where we actually have a conversation, that is just going to get so much pent up energy that it's just like, when it does boil over, it's going to be wild. So, if you want to, take a look at how that might look, just a theoretical way it might look, read the book, The Sovereign Individual, or listen to it on Audible. It's about 20 hours. That turned on a lot of light bulbs in my mind, even beyond what I had seen here with Richard Warner and what he was talking about in The Princes of the End.
Did you listen to it on 1.0 speed?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Cool. And the reason why I did is basically because, it's really good to take in as much of it as possible. And then actually, I'll be listening to it again at some point. 20 hours is quite a lot.
Yeah. I mean, people binge Netflix for 20 hours. I mean, it's not like we're telling you this shit to like, entertain you. Like if you understand the ins and outs of cryptocurrency, you can become rich.
Yep.
If that doesn't incentivize you, then God bless you.
You have to be a little forward thinking for that, right? Like you have to have a little bit of pattern recognition, train your brain for that. I liked, what Paul was saying about juggling. It's like sometimes these things, right, that you do all the different pieces of the puzzle don't necessarily make sense always at first. But then once you start putting the puzzle together and you start seeing that picture, okay, now I see where this is going, right? So take it one step at a time, right? We're giving you a lot of information here, every single day, but, take off like one small piece of it, one small chunk, and go and learn something, and then see if you agree with us or not. And if you don't agree with us, then that's fine. And if you agree with us, cool, but we're not here to, go out and convince the entire world. We're just here to say our piece, be left alone, and, enjoy life. So live and let live, in my opinion. But
yes.
When people start messing with you and start messing with the entire society's fabric and financial structure, you got to talk about it. You got to have that conversation. Otherwise, they win.
Yep, exactly. And that's what we talk about. We believe in twofold approach: A, educating the masses who choose to be educating, and then B, empowering you with actionable steps through the education we offer, and also in our course, the Crypto Mindset course. And that is like what we're talking about in there. And like I said, the course has not even been going on for 1 year, and we have had literally thousands of people sign up. Thousands.
Over 3,000.
Okay, we don't even have 100,000 followers on either of our social media either. But the thirst for cryptocurrency knowledge is out there. And both of our channels are being suppressed by the YouTube algorithm. We're being shadow banned. People don't get alerts when we go live. We're constantly under attack by vicious censorship from big tech, and we're still having
speech is so free. Freedom of speech is so free, right?
And the thing is, we're having all of these things mounting up against us, right? Yet we're still receiving so many people in the courses, in our YouTube channels, in our private consultation,
right? From every single country in the world, right? Shout out to my guys in Mauritania, literally from everywhere, of every, political background, every type of, race, every type of, location, every type of language. There's just, a real hunger for this. everywhere in the world. It's pretty amazing.
So that's going to do it for us this week, guys. There's your libertarian speech at the end.
The last one to put on the screen would be put at Dave Dodge's one there. I think that's important.
Dave Dodge. Where is Dave Dodge? Make Orwell's 1984. I don't have this. I don't like this. I mean, no offense. I know Dave. He's a great guy. He's in Richard's community as well. I don't have this this fucking dystopian outlook on the future. I don't.
When things start trending, not in that direction, right? When you see the possibility for it, I do think it is important to look at that. I mean, Minority Report as a movie, right? That's extreme, obviously, and it's fiction. But when you have them saying, "Hey, we're going to look at your web browsing history in order to give you a credit score," and start basically tapping your smartphone and everything blatantly, and all this stuff, it's like, you want to make sure that doesn't come into fruition, and that we do nip that in the bud a long time before it ever becomes real.
Somebody mentioned a super chat. P. Willie, go ahead and mention. I don't know what I don't see it. Dan Sparks, all the way from Abu Dhabi, says, "I'm watching y'all from the gym in Abu Dhabi right now." So, like I said, this is a global network. Moon Gangers, Hot Dude Army, and
I see P. Willie's. It's let's see, what time is it up on here?
It cut off on the StreamYard back end.
Oh yeah.
Just read
it
it
looks
out.
like we have. Did we show Joseph Avery's as well?
I did. Yeah, I handled that.
I remember you talking about that. I was looking at something. He says, "I'm in it for the snake oil."
So, anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for us this week. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on my channel, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Charlie's channel. If you're not subscribed to me, subscribe to me. Turn the notification bell on. If you're not subscribed to Charlie, definitely go to his channel. Turn the notification bell on as well. We'll see you next time for our 100th episode of the Tokyo Crypto Show. We're gonna try to do something special for that one, but until then, live long, prosper. Peace out.